Hi guys, let me just make sure my camera's up. Hang on one sec. How's everybody doing this holiday weekend? All right. Hi Jenny Walk. Okay, hang on, let me just make sure Featherweight Doctor is up. Hi guys. I have my yellow featherweight today. There I am. Okay, great. Yay! Is it working? Can't tell. Hang on, sorry. I just need to make sure Facebook is up. Hold on. Okay. I think I'm up. But I'm like frozen. There I am. Okay. If you're on Facebook, say something so I know you guys are there. All right. Tell me where you're joining me from. I am away from home. Happy Quilter One says, love it. I think you mean my yellow featherweight. It's actually my daughter's featherweight. I can't take any credit. Hi, Judy on the ranch. How are you? I have a new setting for my sip and sew tonight. Okay, Facebook appears to be freezing up. Oh, hello from Brazil, Alberta, Medford, Oregon. Nice. Oh, good. Helen's on. It is a good chilly weekend to sew, Helen. You're right. In fact, it's pretty. Chattanooga, Tennessee, Vermont. Nice. Welcome. I am in Ponderary, Idaho, which is a little town outside of Sandpoint, Idaho, which is northern Idaho. We have some friends that have a property here, and we are here doing some camping on Memorial Day weekend in the rain, ironically. Hi, Linda. How are you, Linda Hadley? And Rose is watching. She has a new grandchild. Congratulations. Her name is Elaine. Oh, it's not a grandbaby. It's not a human grandbaby. Oh, so she says her daughter-in-law bought her for about $80 today. That is a fabulous price. Very cool. Mary. Hi, Mary. Someday you and I are going to be in the same room together. I just know it. So tonight I promised all of you guys some free motion education tonight on the 221. I've been quilting on a 221 for about 15 years. Free motion quilting probably for the last 5 or so. You might be wondering, because if you are familiar with the featherweight, you know that they do not have feed dogs that drop. True, very true. You can, however, cover them. And I use, I don't know if you guys can see, or you can't see on Facebook, I have a piece of blue painter's tape on the decking of my machine, and I'm covering the feed dogs. That way they don't inhibit my quilting in a fluid motion. Hi, Becky from Texas. So the setup, I have a much more in-depth video on YouTube on how to do this, the setup, but I wanted to kind of go over it really briefly, talk about some of the things that make free motion quilting on your featherweight a little easier. Well, first of all, I want to give a huge thank you to Stephanie at Selkirk Quilts here in Ponderary, Idaho. I needed a good Wi-Fi connection and a heated building because it's so stormy outside, and Stephanie took pity on me and let me come and set up in her absolutely beautiful classroom in her beautiful shop. So if you guys are looking for a good business to support, this is a good local business. She doesn't have a website, but you can call her, Selkirk Quilts in Ponderary, Idaho, and her phone number is 208 2650128. If you guys remember a few weeks ago, hi Carla, I put, I was making face masks and I had those really cool pins that were holding all of the layers together really nicely. I bought them here and she has them back in stock. So if you guys are still looking for them, they're called magic pins and they're super cool. She has two different styles, one in a fine and one in a super fine. I was using the green topped ones here, and they go through all of those layers for the face masks like butter, no problem whatsoever. So anyway, these are back in stock here. So I wanted to again thank Stephanie for letting me come out and crash her beautiful classroom. Rimrock, Arizona. Bridget, I don't know where Rimrock is. Is that up by like Havasu? I'm familiar with Arizona. We live there, but in the Valley of Phoenix, not. We did some exploring, but so today we are going to be doing some free motion quilting. I was just doing a little sample of it to make sure that my machine was all dialed in. First, I always recommend keeping a little sample sandwich kind of by your machine, regardless of whether you're working on a featherweight or your regular modern machine. I always get everything tensioned and dialed in on a sample piece of fabric before I actually go to my quilt project. It helps to not have to use seam rippers and unsew things. So, and I'm all about forward motion and not reverse motion when it comes to sewing. So I thought I've been working on this pillow topper for a friend, and it actually kind of spoke to me. I bought this pattern through Sewtopia, and it was a download, and it was a pillow that said "Hello, friend," and I thought, you know what, that really speaks to me during this season in quarantine where I don't get to have my friends over and I don't get to have my sewing buddies and my featherweight tribe around me. So I thought this pillow topper, it looks like a little conversation bubble. Isn't it cute? This is actually pieced, and I decided to just do it kind of like a whole cloth. Australia. Hello, Jennifer Brown from Australia. That's amazing. Thank you for joining me. That's awesome. I decided to do it more like a whole cloth as opposed to a pieced pattern. And so my topper looks like this. I've done some quilting at home. I was trying not to do too much because if I get chit-chatting with all of you ladies, then I don't get a lot quilted. So here is my pillow topper. What I did was, I actually moved this a little closer. You guys can see I did my walking foot work, and I actually did free motion. I outlined my letters and used some fabric pens to shade because I didn't want to. I tried to do some stitching. Hi Teresa. I hope you're doing well. I tried to I tried to do some stitching in the Hello Friend, and it was too busy looking, and I didn't care for how that looked. So I did some really pigmented fabric pens to do some shading, and I thought for demonstrating purposes today that I would do some filling in this white area around the words. So on these machines, you not only can do traditional free motion quilting with the darning foot. So last weekend on Friday, I mentioned this to some of my tribe out here, and everybody was like, what's this darning foot you're talking about? So this is the darning foot that we carry. Sometimes it has a white tip and sometimes it's silver. It just depends on what I'm able to get. And so this sells for $11.95 on the website, featherweightdoctor.com. And how you load it, here, let me tip this down. I'm going to cut my face off, so sorry guys. Tip this down a little bit. So it actually loads from behind, and you can see the bend on it is at that elbow right there. And so what you're going to do is slip this in from behind, making sure this arm goes up over the needle changer, and then you're going to squeeze it forward and it'll pop onto the shaft. So that's what, needle. That's what I'm going to do here. It's not a good day in the studio if you don't poke yourself in the finger, right, with a needle. That's how that works. All right, I'm already threaded. I have covered my feed dogs with painter's tape. There is a metal plate that Singer sold with the button holder that covers the feed dogs, and it screws into the holes in the bed extension. I actually don't care for anything that straps onto the bed of the machine with a screw, because I've seen too many come through the shop that are damaged with circle gashes around the screw holes because either the button holder or the seam guide has slid out in the middle of a project and gouged your finish and your paint. So I just prefer to use the good old-fashioned painter's tape that you can buy at any of the big box, like, you know, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, the Do It Center, or whatever is in your hometown. Just regular old multi-purpose painter's tape. I made sure on my paint-in machine to not put it actually on the paint. I just have it on the actual throat plate of the machine, so that way I'm not worrying about doing anything to my paint. When I'm done with this, I will take this painter's tape off. I don't want it hanging on here, and it's not supposed to corrode or anything, but I just don't like to leave tape on the bed of my machine when it's just sitting in its case. So yes, isn't this a pretty jelly roll quilt behind me, Miss Helen? I know, I came into our classroom and I'm like, I want to sit up in front of that quilt. Okay, so I think I've given all the credit where credit is due, so let's get to this. I am not sipping anything exciting today except for water because I'm in this beautiful establishment and that would not be appropriate. So I just have water in my little bottle. All right. Oh, there's one more thing to do with the setup. So it's painter's tape on, walking foot installed, the stitch length lever in the front of the machine. You know how if you put it down, it goes forward and up is reverse. I put it in the middle. I call it horizon. That way the machine isn't stitching forwards or backwards. The feed dogs are just going up and down, and that way it's not going to move or tear the painter's tape underneath because they're just going up and down underneath them. Okay. Can you guys see? You can see. Okay. So I always start by bringing my bottom thread up to the top of my quilt. So I just literally put my needle down, press your foot down, and then went up down once with my needle and grabbed the bobbin thread, pulled it through, tucked everything underneath my feet. Hey, Lisa Meadows. Okay, I keep breaking up. I have really good connection here, so I'm not sure it's me. Can you guys see my Instagram? Am I freezing up? I do see Facebook is kind of glitchy, actually. Hang on one sec. Let me see if I can fix it. Helen, am I breaking up on your end too? Weird. I don't know. We'll try and keep going forward here. All right. So I'm just going to do a really easy stippling pattern. I like making a series of, oh good, Jenny Walk, thank you for saying I'm not breaking up on Instagram. I appreciate that. I like making some little baby stitches when I start. We are, what that does is it makes what I call locking stitches. And locking stitches means that they won't come undone if you try and pick it out later. You also don't have to knot and bury anything. Oh, Rimrock is south of Sedona. Okay. Lots of buffering with the feed, Lisa says. Andy, is your Wi-Fi strong on there? No, aren't you on your connection, your Verizon connection though?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. Okay. Sorry guys, I don't think there's anything I can do. Blurry, but a good connection. Okay.
Aren't you on the Wi-Fi?
I am on the Wi-Fi, yeah. Weird. I don't know. This is as good as it's gonna get, I guess. I'm in remote Idaho. What can we expect? All right, so I'm just gonna start doing some little puzzle pieces here. Now this machine doesn't have its original motor on it because she was too slow for me, and I like things fast. So I actually have to kind of govern her speed a little bit because she's really fast and it's a little too fast even for me. The other thing that really makes this, hi Meredith, the other thing that kind of makes this nice is I have this big extension table to be able to widen my quilting space, and it allows my hands to be able to get out of the way of the needle, which is super nice. I'm just checking my stitches on the back before I get too far down the road here. Don't rainy weekends just make you want to sit inside and sew? I know it does me. Meredith, I am doing some camping. Can't you tell? Don't I look like I'm camping? We are in a trailer on a 30-acre property here. Now, some of you may recall that there is an aftermarket foot. I mean, this is an aftermarket foot, but there is an original foot that Singer put out with their 222s. It's not wine, it's water today. This, oh, someone wants to know what kind of motor did I put on the 221. It's the Alpha, which is the reproduction motor, and I have a Singer decal on it. This one is actually black because we had already done away with the yellow paint when I decided that the motor wasn't fast enough on its original motor. So sunny days sewing works for me also. Well, that's true. It doesn't really have to be crummy outside, but if it's crummy outside, then there's nothing else to do. Let me try and rebuffer Facebook to see if this is a little better. I think Instagram's getting the better video this week.
Are you doing the Wi-Fi on your phone too?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're just trying to do too much.
Should I get off the Wi-Fi on my phone? Okay, girls, hang on one sec. I'm gonna try something. I have boxes and boxes. I have 13.
How many bars?
3 bars on LTE. Okay, I think I jumped off the Wi-Fi. Let me just see if that helps. I have boxes and boxes of low shank darning foot, but not a single low shank feet, but not a... Darn, Karen, I guess you're gonna have to shop.
Did you do it on your iPad too?
No, it has to be on the Wi-Fi because it doesn't have a connection other. Okay. It's fuzzy, then clear. Sorry, guys. Carla, I'm sorry. This is just where I'm at here. Where we're actually staying has no Wi-Fi, like none. Okay, let me see. Okay, actually, I think that's working better on Facebook. Thank you for your patience. Okay. We're gonna roll. We're gonna go with it. Oh, so I started telling you guys about the other foot. So back in the day with the 222s, Singer put out a, now I'm buffering. I jumped off the Wi-Fi on my phone to help with the Facebook feed, but I think that slowed you guys down a little bit, sorry. Anyway, they came out with an actual like Singer darning foot that you could use with the little embroidery hoop. And That thing sells for $100 if you can even find one. So this one, and it's clunky and noise and all, you know, all that fun stuff. Oh, it says now I'm buffering here. Shoot. Sorry, let me get back on the Wi-Fi. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try, oh, pause due to poor connection. Reconnecting. Okay. Back on the Wi-Fi. Let's see. I think that slows down Facebook a little bit, but all right. Hi, Whitney. All right, so the $100 one is cost prohibitive for some. This one's only $12, and I actually think it works better myself. All right. Hi, Ruth from California. How are you? It was better at the beginning. I know. I don't know what happened, Carla. Woo-woo. So when this is, I think I said at the beginning, this is my daughter's machine. And when her and I are traveling together, she absolutely insists on using this machine because of the speed. Because it has the newer motor on it, it flies. It would keep up with any modern machine that I sew with. So Reagan, being 17, doesn't have patience now because she's become accustomed to this fancy yellow machine, and now all of a sudden she's like, I don't want to sew on any other machine. Hence it becoming her machine. So what are you guys working on this weekend? Anything fun in the sewing room? More face masks? I think I put that question out on social media last week, and I think like 24 of you responded. There wasn't anything less than like 24. Some people have made hundreds, and there were several people who have made thousands of face masks. That is awesome. Way to go. I've made like 54, and they're kind of soul-sucking to me because they're like the exact same thing over and over and over again. And I have a hard time assembly lining anything. I don't even production quilts because I just can't with doing the same thing over and over again. who's Granny Bees. I know, is that Kelly? Kelly, you want to join me? Let's do this. Haven't done this before. Hold on, we're connecting with my friend in Texas, Kennydale, Texas. Are you there, Becky? I can't see you. You have a fuzzy camera. There she is.
Sorry.
No, hi.
Oh, goodness. Hey, I didn't know I was going to be live. See it. Hold on a minute.
Oh.
My camera. I keep it covered.
Oh yeah, no, you should, because there's creepers. I totally get it. You were asking to join, and I just thought I'd say hi.
Okay. Well, hello. You need to get back to work, though. I'm so sorry. I thought I had to join to be able to comment.
Oh no, it's okay, sweetheart. I just wanted to say hi.
Okay.
Bye, Becky.
Well, hello. Hello.
I think you have to hang up, sweetheart. I can't.
Okay.
Yeah. There. Okay. Well, that was fun. Becky and I have been chatting quite a bit. No, the red in the letters will not disappear with the heat. It's it was a pigmented pen, so it wasn't going to bleed, and it was permanent. All right, so Karen says, I have quilted number 3 UFO. Good job. Just pinned one from 2007. I do all of my free motion quilting on my Baby Lock Symphony, though I have 4 featherweights. You are spoiled, girl. Sorry, Helen. Okay. All right. Helen had to leave because I was too glitchy on Facebook. I apologize. All right. Let's get back to my free motion quilting here. I have a few featherweights myself. I'm sure you can imagine, Karen. You guys know when you're free motion quilting that one of the ideas is that you have to have kind of a plan in your head. Hi, David. I see you. You have to have kind of a plan in your head where you're going to enter into an area, where you're going to exit, in order to have it all a continuous free motion quilting pattern. David is a good customer. He has a very old featherweight. I think Mary Elizabeth is she from 34 or 35? I can't remember. But he loves her. He loves her. David is a talented designer and teacher, quilt teacher. You mean a 30? You mean a 36, David? An 80? Oh, she's 86 years old. Okay. I'm like, they didn't make a featherweight in 86, David. I do, Carla, sometimes I do draw my designs out first. Like, for instance, this crosshatch that I did out here in the border. I drew it out with those pens, those friction pens that go away with the heat of an iron. So I didn't have to pay attention too much to my pattern. I technically could have just swung it, but I wanted it to be a little bit more precise, if you will. So I did draw it out, and then I used the walking foot, which also they make for the featherweight, but the walking foot to do the quilting in the outer area. This fabric is all from Rifle Paper Company, cotton and steel. So this is going to be my backing fabric for the backing, and then I'm going to use the navy dot as my binding on the outside of it. Green is my favorite color. Like, I just think all green quilts are pretty phenomenal. So should be no secret if you know me that I picked the green to be the outer border of my quilt. Monday, I will be back home for my live. Thank you, Miss Becky.